Mitch Marner hasn't exactly looked like himself as a pair of off-season acquisitions have gotten off to slow starts. Hey everyone, welcome into Inside the Leafs. Rob Wong joined alongside by Toronto Sun Maple Leafs writers Lance Hornby and Terry Koshan. And guys, I think most NHL players would take 8 points in their first 9 games, but if you're Mitch Marner, that's probably not what you're looking for. Terry, Marner is normally someone that is well over a point per game. Why do you think he has not had the same production we're accustomed to early on this year?
Well, he seems to be forcing a lot, Rob, and that I think that's part of the issue. Trying to do a little bit too much. He's got 3 even strength points in 9 games, which is not anywhere near what he should be producing. Now, 1 a game would be asking for a lot, probably, but the fact of the matter is, it's just not enough. And whether it's kind of hard to figure out, to be honest, because you figure that he and Austin Matthews together, whether they're on the power play or at even strength, it's pretty much automatic, but it hasn't been that way. And like I said, there just seems to be a little bit too much coming from Marner's side, not letting it happen naturally. As one of them was saying yesterday, it's one and done a lot on their time in the offensive zone. Puck's coming back the other way. So, there's that. The fact they haven't found a click on the left side yet, but Marner's got to be driving it. And as we've seen in the past, he hasn't been doing that. And I don't know if it's a reason for concern, but it's certainly like we're doing now, a topic of conversation, as it should be.
Well, you know what? You get up to 22 minutes a game, which is what Marner's at right now. You certainly expect more from him. You can see his frustration. I think, Terry, you were there the other night and sounded like he was a little upset at the booing that was going on. But people have a right to expect more from him based on his 99 points last year. And we both remember how hard he was driving to get that 100th point and showing that passion. And people at points maybe did not see that in the playoffs, and now that's kind of bled into this year a little bit. But like I say, 22 minutes leading all right wingers in ice time. I think it's going to turn for him at some point, whether that's with Austin Matthews or somebody else.
Yeah, I think it'll turn too. It's just he's just the type of player, the elite type of player that he is. That we really shouldn't be having this conversation on November 2nd. The rest of the talent level just shouldn't be happening, but here we are, and the Leafs being the Leafs, they always seem to get past some of these early season hiccups. I mean, we've seen it last 2 Octobers for sure, Lance, and this one was a little bit better with the 5-3-1 record. But he's got to get it going into gear here. There's no doubt.
As you guys said, the track record is there for a guy like Marner to not eventually get out of this. Speaking of guys that haven't lived up to their production expectations so far, Lance, Tyler Bertuzzi has just 2 goals and 3 points, and Max Domi has no goals and 4 assists to begin the year. Any concern on your end about the results from 2 of the Maple Leafs' big offseason signings?
I would have to say yes, certainly. I mean, you give them time to have that shakedown cruise, as they say in the Navy, about getting used to everything and that. But really, no big production yet, and neither of them factoring on the first line right now. At some point, it looked like Bertuzzi was going to be the perfect fit there as the guy who drove to the net for Matthews and Marner, and of course, Domi brings that ancestral aggression. To use a word about how his father played and all that. So you're a little surprised that you're not seeing that turn into success right now. But really, they've limited shots, limited success, and not they are surrounded by top level talent. I'm not sure how currently Domi may do with David Kampf as his current center. Maybe a little miscast there. So something's got to turn. And you certainly saw the frustration in Max the other night.
Yeah, both of them have been a disappointment. There's no doubt. So the first with Bertuzzi, it's clear after watching him through 9 games now, he's a half a step slower than Michael Bunting was. And I think that when you're playing with people as talented as Matthews and Marner, and he's not now, of course, that goes a long way. And we just haven't seen the finish around the net. And, whatever it is, there's just something off with Bertuzzi's game right now. I'm with Lance. We should have seen, how much of a runway do you need? I mean, there was preseason and everything and good feelings for both of these guys, and neither has brought it that way. And as for Domi, I'm a little more surprised. I just thought, Max has expressed his desire to play for the Leafs for a while. This is the quote-unquote dream come true for him. He not only follows in his dad's footsteps, but puts on the sweater of the team that he loved as a kid and was around a lot as a kid. And it just has not translated onto the ice. There hasn't been the enthusiasm from him I thought that we would see. And again, like Lance alluded to, both of them moving around and not playing on set lines, and certainly a third line of Kampf, Knies, and Domi just hasn't worked. And it's three different type of players, and it's hard to know what you're going to get from that grouping. But overall, like Bertuzzi, Domi just it hasn't been there for him, and you kind of hate to say it, but he's been on a lot of hockey teams in the NHL, and there's got to be a reason for that. He did play well for Dallas in the playoffs last year, there's no doubt. But for whatever reason, Max Domi has not been able to find a permanent home in the NHL, and perhaps we're seeing a bit of the reasons for that now with the Maple Leafs.
Yes, you certainly want to see the playoff version of both those guys.
And a couple of guys on one-year deals here, so obviously playing for something bigger heading into the off-season. As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below or send us an email at torontomapleleafs@postmedia.com. For Lance Hornby and Terry Koshan, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.